Your daughter is absolutely right. And part of the challenge is to, again, trust the process, get out of your box, because you have to remember who is your personality now. I mean, would Olivia Pope be afraid to post?
No.
Come on, you got to summon up. She wouldn't, right? She goes for it. And even though she gets herself in trouble sometimes, doesn't matter, she still go for it. The only way to get the best out of life is to swing the hardest. You swing as hard as you can every time.
I used to be that person I told you. Now I'm kind of like a behind the scenes person. I like being the person that's powerful behind the scenes because I like my anonymity. I like the freedom that comes with not being in the limelight. But for what I'm trying to do, I'm going to have to make some changes.
So. Yeah, for right now. You may get to, so here's one of the things that I think is it. Most folks, do you know who Clarence Avant is?
No, talking about the guy whose wife got killed that they've been talking about?
Yes.
I just heard about him. I didn't know about him before that.
Oh, so if you do some homework on Clarence Avant, you're going to find that he's been the biggest personality around everything that's Black in Hollywood. That's why they call him the Godfather, but very few people know his name.
See, that's who I am. I like being that person.
But he had to lay the groundwork for that first. So that means you have to sell people on your vision of that first, and then you can transition to that. When you sell it, like for example,
you muted.
All right. Right. For example, Tyler Perry, right now, we know who he is because we watched him go from stage plays to some musicals. Now he's got this whole studio as big as Hollywood, it's bigger than Paramount and the other studio all put together. Right. So if Tyler Perry disappeared off into the background right now, and 20 years, some of the kids will be like, we know what TPS means. We know but we don't even, who is that? I mean, because he is built now this massive machine. And so now he could sit back. A lot of kids, believe it or not, don't know who Oprah Winfrey is at this point.
Oh, I know, because my kids, they're like, we remember grandmommy watching her, but they're not feeling her like that.
They have no idea where she came from, how that started, or anything. Now, we grew up in the Midwest, so we know Good Morning Chicago, AM Chicago. We knew her before she owned anything. When they first signed her up to just be it wasn't even going to be the face at first because they thought she was too fat. But when they just signed her up just to be the personality, but nobody was going to give her a show. I mean, that was the furthest thing from their mind. Now here this woman has done AM Chicago, ended up buying the show out, then partnering with Quincy Jones and partnered with some of the biggest names in Hollywood existing. Now Harpo Studios and Winfrey Productions, all that stuff is behind so much stuff. She doesn't have to sit in front of the camera anymore. So Rachel Ray, who sits in the executive chair for Rachel Ray? Oprah Winfrey. Phil, who sits in the executive chair for Phil? Oprah Winfrey. People know who Rachel Ray and Phil are because they out front. Ileana Van Zandt, who sits in the executive chair for her, Oprah Winfrey. But
Dr. Oz.
Who's that? Dr. Oz, Oprah Winfrey. But as today, most people will say, oh, that's Dr. Phil. He ain't nobody without Oprah Winfrey in the back office. So yeah, but you see what she had to do first. She had to gain the trust of the world, gain the trust of her clients, gain the trust of America, and then you're able to transition in. So what you got to do is summon that right now, and then you'll be able to go there. Okay?
Okay.
All right. So welcome, Rashida. I know Rashida's going to have to run.
Hi, Rashida. Hi. Good to see you again, girl.
It's good to see you too. I see you guys on Facebook all the time. You make me laugh.
Listen here. People don't understand being married to Lisa Bennett is a constant roller coaster, but it's a good roller coaster. It's like, roller coasters always get this bad rep. Oh, you taking me through roller coaster? No, baby, this roller coaster, this ride is great. She keeps me laughing.
in your
Yes.
posts.
Oh, it does. I'm
Yeah,
so
it
glad.
does.
Can I tell you, it's one thing to be, when we posting and we talking about each other and we playing around. Then when people, and I read some of the comments, but to actually hear someone go, I see and feel the love and the craziness that y'all have. I'm so
Yeah.
blessed and grateful and thankful that he found someone, made someone just for me. So when you are equally yoked, it makes a world of a difference.
Well, be that as it
Okay.
may, you guys are fun. And when I
Thank
see
you.
your post, it just makes me feel, happy.
Oh,
Well, that's
great.
great. Oh, we
Yeah.
need to have her. You need to give a
Yeah, I just look
testimonial.
at you guys and I'm like, oh, they're at it again. Oh, what are they doing now?
Oh, good. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Because that's our goal.
Mhm.
We hoping that as a couple, as individuals, first of all, and then as a couple, because we individually have given each other permission. Make yourself happy, man. Get on out here and do what you need to do for you. And so our lives have completely switched around in the last year or so. I've left corporate America, and this is all I do full time because this is what I'm happy doing. Is it bringing the 200,000 like I was bringing to corporate America guaranteed? Nope. It's not. But I'm happy. And Rashida's always wanted to be in corporate America. So she actually started that journey, and your first day in the office is next Monday, right?
Congratulations. That's what I wondered. Were you going to be a flight attendant? Were you working in the office? What will you be doing?
So right now, I am just doing customer service. And when I say customer service, when they explain what customer service was, I was just thinking, oh, I'll help with them getting tickets and, the person that, scan your tickets that you get on the plane. No, baby, customer service. There's I think about 15 to 20 different positions in the airport that customer service covers. So you could be the one scanning the tickets. You could be the one helping with assisting with luggage, or you could be the one that, when you get on the airplane, you walk down that long hallway and onto the plane. Well,
Yes.
there is at the end of that hallway, it's like some control. So when the plane pulls in, you have to put the runway, and it's like and you have to control it and put it right in front of the door. And then there's latches you got to do, and it's a whole lot that you got to do. And that could be your job for the day. And the cool thing is that you don't know what position you're going to be in customer service, because they constantly are moving you around. So I'm learning like 15 different jobs at the airport. So I am excited.
It means that you never get bored.
Right. That's what they kept on saying. It was like, you will not get bored. This is not the same. You're not going to do the same thing over and over and over again. So, but that's not where I'm going to stay. I'm already claiming. Let me tell you, I'm telling everybody that I know. I'm sorry, Lisa. I know this is your show and I'm hijacking.
We're at the part of the agenda, personal wins and celebrations. Go right ahead.
Yay! Okay, then this is perfect. I have been claiming since they called me and I got the interview, and they then offered me the position. The moment that they offered the position, I began in my daily mantra, because I call it meditation, or I do it 3 times a day, 9 a.m., 3 a.m., and 9 p.m. I set my phone to it, because I will forget. I set it, and 9 a.m. the alarm go off, and I do and then my meditation ain't no 10 minutes, 15 minutes. It's literally not even a minute. And what I say is, I'm a multimillionaire.
Go ahead and do your demo.
Okay. I'm a multimillionaire. I am creating generational wealth. I'm a successful entrepreneur. And now what I just added to the mantra is, I am going to be the best customer service representative for United Airlines. And I'm going to elevate to flight attendant for domestically and then internationally. And I'm going to do it faster than anybody has done it in the company.
So okay. Well, I'm on board with that. Yeah. What you said.
I'm doing it.
And what's the last part? What's the last part of it? It is here.
It is here. It is mine. Thank you. It is here. It is mine. Thank you. It is here. It is mine. Thank you. And I say that 3 times. And that last time you just get hyped with it in your spirit. I'm just saying. And then I say at the end, amen and ashe. And I do that 3 times a day because I am commanding those things to happen in my life.
And so
that's my personal win and celebration.
And so part of that, where she is doing is that's an energy shift too, because it doesn't matter where you are in the rhythm of the day. If you stop and you meditate and you focus on what you want, it doesn't even matter what's going on externally. You've turned it all internally and you focus on you. Focus on me. You focus on you. And when you focus on what you want and you celebrate what you want and you celebrate what you want to call into being, that shifts your energy.
It does.
And so you get
I
really
believe
quickly.
that, and I've been learning about this group of people called Abraham Hicks. And once I started studying that, and then more people, and I'm noticing a lot of people have the same philosophy. They may call it something different, but that keeps coming to me. And I know that that's why I'm in this class, because I wouldn't reach out. I wouldn't do anything on Facebook. But then you said, does anybody want to have, what'd you say, 3 months of unlimited coaching from me? And I was like, I'm going to say something. Like, that was big for me. I know that seemed like nothing, but it was big for me. And then you were like, I'll inbox you. And I was like, yeah, I summoned that to me.
right.
You know,
Absolutely.
I have my affirmations too. And one of mine is, money comes to me in expected and unexpected ways. I am always on the verge of something wonderful happen. And I attract the perfect people at the right time.
Yes.
Okay. So that was beautiful. Let me fix one little piece that was off in there.
Okay.
You said so the first one and the last one were perfect. The middle one, I'm always on the
verge.
You said always on the verge. When you're always on the verge, you're never in the thing.
Okay. Okay.
So let's fix that.
I get that. I might have said it wrong. I wrote it down. Something I heard on YouTube and I pulled it out. Oh, here it is. Something wonderful is always on the verge of happening. But I get your point.
Yeah. So let's not.
Something wonderful is always happening.
There you go.
Yes.
Yeah, I get it. I get it.
Or something in my life is always wonderful, right? That way it's a constant state of being, of existence, and not a future state of existence.
Okay, got it.
So you are probably, you're right in that. So we too are fans of Esther Hicks. Abraham is the person she summons. And Esther and her husband passed away not long ago. Jerry. And so we have, it's just the way I was wired as a child. And so people thought I was a little hinky, so you don't talk about it out loud. And then my grandmother is very much wired that way. And she taught me to use my gifts, but to keep it quiet. And so I've gone through life very differently, having some very different understandings and beliefs that's going on around me. And when I was introduced to Esther and Jerry Hicks years and years and years ago, I think Oprah Winfrey had a lot to do with bringing them to the forefront. But the laws of attraction and all of that kind of stuff have been out there for years. And you're right, there seems to be a shift in the universe in people opening their minds to believe that you can control. And that's what we were talking about yesterday. You know, you create it. It's what you create. And so for you, that should have been really easy to swallow. For other people, it's very difficult, but you just proved it. You were asking for something. I threw something out there. You latched onto it and recognized it. What you didn't know is that I'm an Esther Hicks fan.
Yeah, I didn't know it, but then the more you started talking, it sounded so familiar. So then I assumed that you were either familiar with them or an adjacent or a parallel group that was talking the same concept. I mean, the concept is the concept.
Right.
Right.
Well, the concept
doesn't really matter what you call it, but if you got the concept
is all biblical. It's all biblical.
I can see that too. I see how it's connected, because I've always felt like there was something missing in the doctrine, in the way that it has been taught to us. I knew there was more to it.
Well, what happened?
A lot of stuff that is said with Abraham Hicks, I can see the direct parallel to stuff I've learned in scripture. And I can also see where people misinterpreted things, or they twisted it a little bit and changed the meaning or the functioning of it.
To suit their own human purposes a lot of times, right? Right, because there is no level of quality on something happening to you that makes it good or bad. If you strip the Bible down, it doesn't say these things are good and bad. It says that their things are part of your journey. How you choose to look at it determines if it's good or bad. But that's all based on your own perspective and experiences and journey.
Yeah, so, well, I just got introduced to them maybe 2 months ago. My friend told me about them. I've always had an open mind and I've always lived off the beaten path, but I felt like I was given the wrong handbook, right? And now things are starting to make sense. At least they seem easier to do than all that other stuff that we've been told for years.
I think, again, for so long, religion has been used to control people. So we have indoctrinated people, not for the purposes of a connection to a higher God, but we've indoctrinated them to keep control of people so that they don't go beyond the veil for themselves. But if you read the Bible, the way it's written, it says you get beyond the veil and to have that relationship with God. You don't need anybody between you and that power or that entity. But that's not what we're taught. So particularly for us as people of color, we come out of a place where we rely totally on that being, and it was taught to us a certain way as a way to escape slavery and all kinds of things. So it's so ingrained in us that we really have a difficult time opening our minds up, and we want to really we'll say, I'm Catholic, I'm Protestant, I'm Kojic, I'm apostolic, but what they're doing by saying all of that is they put God in the box that they understand.
Right.
And my issue is, and so you may not know this, but Rashida and I belong to the American Baptist churches, the United Church of Christ, the National Baptist Convention. We belong to all of them. And people go, how is it y'all have membership in all of them? Because we refuse to buy into one particular doctrine. You guys have never looked at all of it. It's all saying the same stuff.
I see that.
You just refuse to, you keep want to make God fit in your little thimble. And what you need to understand is what you're the way you're minimizing him, it really is a thimble. You think it's big, but it's a thimble when you consider all of the other ways he shows up.
I agree. I always define myself as a truth seeker. And so I don't care where the truth comes from. I just want it. So it's not about the messenger. It's about the message. And I can tell if the message has any validity because it will work. When it doesn't work, I toss it. And I don't really care if it came across the pulpit or not. But I've always been a little weird in that way. And so like you, I just keep it to myself.
Right. And so, but the strength, well, okay, so if we continue to keep it to ourselves, which is partly why I started teaching, if we continue to keep it to ourselves, then how does God move forward?
Right. Well, right now I'm keeping it to myself because I've just learned about this particular way and I need to give it a chance to work for me.
Well, look, I can tell you that that's what you're going to learn. And again, it's not and I get what you're saying and trying to distinguish it from what you've been taught in the traditional church. But what you're going to learn hanging out with me is what you've taught in the traditional church parallels exactly what Esther will refer to God. A lot of people miss that. She refers to God all the time and she'll talk about scripture all the time. I should say Abraham, not Esther. It comes up a lot.
Parallel. I see it clearly. But what I'm saying is what was missing for me was their presentation of it that made the things I've been learning make more sense.
It's
right?
applicable. So it's applicable in a human way.
Right. And
that's what I understand.
Okay. That's all I'm saying. I'm saying once I actually, now that I know about it, once I can actually make it work for me, then I can talk about it. But for right now, I'm trying to get myself together.
And so for me, the stuff that you're learning and that you already learned, even yesterday, this is the practical, my interpretation of practical application to help you grasp it even more. So personal win for you. That was big.
Yeah, that was big.
That was really big. That was really big. So it was good. Good. Do you have any other personal wins? How have you been summoning Olivia in those moments?
Well, I only started yesterday, so I don't really have a lot to report. Today was just a really full, busy work day.
How did it feel?
It feels good. And I printed it out and I put it on the wall at work. I have it on the wall here at the house. And I've already been like, sometimes I'll listen to them as I go to sleep, or I'll wake up in the morning and listen to it as I get ready for work. So it kind of gets me in the right mindset.
Exactly.
But now that I've added Maxine Waters, Olivia Pope, and Elizabeth Sloan,
Come on.
I think that's going to change things, because it helps me to go into a whole different character. And if you notice, I did not include my name with that. I didn't take me and them and combine them. For me, it's being a whole nother person. There's Kenidra, and then there's Olivia Sloan, and I will switch in and out. I guess like Superman, maybe.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
And you will do that for now. But what you're going to find, Rashida's been doing this now for about 6 months intentionally, just about 6 months, 4 months, 5 months intentionally. So what you're going to find is, like, she's awakening. She said to me, we were passing today, and what is your name? Maya, Beyonce.
Rashida Beyonce Maya Bennett.
And so she said, Rashida Beyonce Maya, she said her name, and she was walking through the kitchen, and she looked back at me, and I started laughing. And she said, "Why are you laughing?" I said, "You almost to the point where you're about to outgrow her, huh?" And she was like, "Yeah, that crossed my mind today." And I said, "I know." Because as you grow into that, just like you grew into who Kenidra is until you got a new identity, you're going to be working with that new identity. And after a while, you're going to wake up, and Kenidra is not really going to exist the way we used to know Kenidra. Kenidra will exist now in the form of that new personality. And in 6, 7 months after you've done that, you're going to be like, well, wait a minute. It's time to up it again. Who do I become now? What else do I want to put in here? And you're going to do it all over again. Because that's how you create. Michelle Obama has a book that's perfect title. It's called Becoming. She talks about, she wasn't the person you see today. It took her a while to work in massage and take on different personas to become Michelle Obama. And that's kind of what God is doing with us all the time. He's remolding us and having these experiences so that we can become, but he's also giving us the right to tell him who we want to become. He's just helping. Yes, ma'am.
I just want to, it just hit me that the book is called Becoming. Consistently elevate. It don't say become, because when you become, it comes to an end. Becoming is consistently moving and improving. That's how I took it. Becoming.
Yes, and that's correct. But she was talking about before
becoming Michelle Obama, before the presidency.
Before she was Michelle. She was Michelle Robinson. She was that. Now it's a different person. And even when she entered that White House 8 years ago, well, now 15 years ago, 16 years ago.
Oh my God.
She was a different person. Today, she's an international mega superstar. That's a complete, she was brilliant before she got there. Now, it's a whole nother thing. So she was in the book is talking about her transformation, both psychologically and mentally. And she, in the documentary, you see her working with her coaches and working with the people around her saying, you got to stop being so angry. You got to stop doing this. You got to stop. And the rest of us were saying, Michelle Robinson was already brilliant. What are you talking about? But to become Michelle Obama, she had to be coachable and leave some of Michelle Robinson behind and decide who she's going to be. Because Michelle Robinson could not be first lady. She wasn't ready. She was too much from the South Side. She would have put up and that's what came across. So you have to share that.
I think it was in the movie, in that documentary, they said she watched the video of her and then they turned the sound off. So and they said, what do you see?
Right.
Look like an angry Black woman.
Right. And the first lady cannot come across that way. So now you have to decide. So let's back about to the beliefs, right? Because they told her about this, but she didn't believe it. So she kept doing it until they asked her to watch it without the volume. Then she shifted her belief and said, oh my God, I am doing this. So now I believe them. I'm going to make a different decision, take a different action, and look for the results. And when the results came back, every time she kept shifting and chiseling until now you see the superstar you see today, well polished and does not let anybody ruffle her feathers. She'll say, when they go low, we go high. The old Michelle Obama might have whooped your butt. I'm going low right with you. We about to tear this up. Okay, but those are great things, ladies. And so Rashida, go ahead and take off, and Kanisha and I are going to continue our work, because Rashida can come back and share. Actually, Kanisha, what you can do, we're going to do something called Kanidra. What did I say, Kanisha? I'm sorry, Kanidra, I'm tripping out today. I'm becoming Eric today. Kanidra, we're going to, Rashida has already done her wheel of life, and that's the exercise that we're going to practice on today. And there in the group, you will find a video that Rashida has already posted, because she just did a 5-month evaluation from the first time she did a wheel of life to where she is now and how that wheel has morphed. So you will understand, rather than have her have to stay on and try to do it tonight, and she's got to get out of here anyway. Just watch that, and that'll be fair game, I think, to add.
Okay, you said there's a video in the group? It's
already, she posted it herself in the group. So I'll tag you on it so you can see it.
Okay.
But it would be her version of this if she were here tonight.
Okay.
So personal wins and celebrations, like I said, I think you have a big one. Those are big. Since we last logged off, which was, like I said, a day ago, for me, oh my gosh, we're planning to move to Vegas, and I picked out the house today. And so I am personally excited because I told Rashida, I said, we're going to print this and put it on the wall. All of the, looking at our accounts at this moment, all of it's not there to do it, but believing that God's going to do it. And now we've identified specifically what we want. We're printing that out and putting it on the wall. So I'm already celebrating my new acquisition.
Yeah.
So that's my win for the day, because you got to ask for what you want, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm very excited about that. I'm also, you may not know this, but I have a book that's coming out. And we had to have 4 different approvals. We have 3 of them done now. And we've got the last one that has to be done. And so I am celebrating that, because just one more by tomorrow, and we have our actual, we announced the book. She's downstairs. We announced the book, but we were not able to give an exact release date. And actually, since I'm so excited about it, I'm going to see if I can share this with you. Let me see something. See if I can share. So you can see. Can you see that?
Yeah.
So that's the cover of it.
I thought I saw you guys post that on Facebook. I thought the book was already out.
Nope. It was just the introduction of it. And at that time, we did not have any endorsements from any big names in industry. So if you see that endorsement right at the very top, it says "A Great Gift for All Generations" by Angela Ahrendts, DBE, which means Dame of the British Empire. It's the equivalent of a man being knighted by the Queen. She was also knighted by the Queen, but she's the former senior vice president of Apple Retail and the CEO of Burberry. And so she wrote a piece of the foreword, which I'm excited about. I'm getting that level of participation in my first project out of the gate. So
how did you do that? How do you solicit that kind of support?
Well, we've been talking about it. What did you do? You ask. And let me tell you, I'll tell you the story, but it was that simple. I asked her, and she said, I would love to do that. Blew my mind.
So this is somebody you knew, or you just reached out to her randomly?
So here's what happened. I met her a couple years ago when my grandmother passed away at a conference. And it was a conference that I did not want to go to because it cost a lot of money to go. And I told Rashida, we could not afford for me to be there. And she just said, it doesn't matter what you think, you're gonna go, in short. And so she sent me down there and I went to the conference, and she says, and so I didn't really know she was one of the speakers. And the conference was packed. It was a John Maxwell conference. So I don't know if you're familiar with John Maxwell, but those conferences are huge. Well, you know, Tony Robbins, that kind of, you familiar with any of those guys? Okay. But okay, so you grew up in this area, West Side Auditorium.
I didn't grow up here. I'm from Florida.
Oh, okay. You ever been in West Side Auditorium?
Yes.
Okay, imagine 3 of those.
Okay.
Packed to the gills.
Okay.
And so I was at the conference and I somehow managed to sit on the front row. Because I was just like, if I didn't spend all this money, I'm gonna put on my personality and just go where the heck I need to go.
Right.
So she spoke and she came down, she sat on the front row, and Rashida had also paid for me to have lunch with one of the people, but I didn't know who it was going to be, and it turned out to be her. And it wasn't a personal lunch. There were a number of people who had paid, but it was probably about 30 of us in the room with her. And she was just talking to us about her life experience and her career journey and all of that stuff. And I just walked up to her and I said, you need a mentee? Because I need a mentor. And she said, and we talked. It was, brief conversation. She said, yeah, I would love to do that. She said, stay in touch with me. Now, again, considering who she was, I was like,
right.
That ain't about to happen, but I asked, right?
Right, absolutely.
So we're going to talk about something later called the 5-second rule, because it talks about having the gumption to just go ask, and how to get yourself to do it.
Okay.
But anyway, so I found myself walking toward her and I asked the question and she said, yeah. And I go, yeah, you're going to be my mentor? She said, yeah, just stay in touch. 2 years go by. I haven't been, she took a picture with me. 2 years have gone by. My grandmother passed away. The whole thing's happened. And I said, actually, my grandmother passed away before. That's why I ended up at the conference, because I was just in a depression. And so I found her on LinkedIn and I said, hey, I don't know if you'll remember me. And I connected the picture. I had the picture. I said, but we took this picture. I met you in Atlanta. We had this conversation. I pray that all is well. And I wanted to reach out and see how you were doing. And she said, oh my God, where have you been? I forgot to get your information before we left. And I go, holy smoke. So I said, well, this is, my journey was, she said, how things going? I know you're depressed. You're talking about your grandmother and all that. So we caught up a little bit. And I said, yeah, and I just wrote a book about it. I said, hey, would you mind reading my book? And if you like it, write something. And she said, I'd love to.
That works. Yeah, that's nice.
So I sent her I sent it to her before it was even edited. And she sent me a note back. The note is much longer, but we took that piece of the quote and put it out there. She sent me several notes, but she gave me an official quote to put on the book. And then she wrote a longer piece that's inside the book. And she just said, if the edited version is better than what I read, I just can't wait.
No. I like your title, because that's what my grandmother used to say to me all the time. And I say it a lot, just keep living, especially when people say, you tell them something and you can't get through to them, just keep living,
grandmother's
or
favorite
tell my
phrase.
daughters that, because you're young, there are just some things you don't know. You haven't lived long enough to know.
And my grandmother's thing was,
keep living.
Is even if I told you, because you're 10 and I'm 50, you're not going to understand what I'm talking about. She said, but you know what? Lord bless you. You live long enough. You just keep living.
Yeah.
And you're going to know all the answers you need to know. And she also has this other one. She says, twice a child, once an adult. And I used to say, what do you mean by that? She said, you're going to be twice a child. If you live long enough, you'll be twice a child and once an adult. Mm-hmm. And I thought about that and I go, she's absolutely right. And my grandmother was just always so content with that. So she's right. She was a child. She grew up. She was a child. Her parents took care of her. She grew up, had her children, did her thing, got old, and then her grandchildren and children had to take care of her. So she's right. Twice a child, once an adult. She said, if God blesses you and you live long enough, you'll have that experience. Then you can go home.
Right.
So anyhow, we way kind of off the topic anyhow, but it actually will kind of align a little bit with what we're going to talk about. So we're going to talk about the wheel of life. And then we're going to do some observations of day 1 and 3. Although we've kind of been doing observations of day 1 and 3, day 1 anyway. We'll look at how day 3 fits in with day 1, and then we're going to go to our Q&A sessions and assignments. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So we did the personal wins. We're going to focus on something called the wheel of life tonight. Psychologists say, let me get that out of the way, that there are approximately 8 to 10 themes so if you took our lives and you broke it into parts, it'd be come into about 8 to 10 equally distributed parts or segments, if you will.
Okay.
And keeping those compartments sort of balanced is essential to living a full life.
Okay.
A full balanced life. And so we're going to do, like I said, the wheel of life. You should have, I sent this to you guys. You should have had this diagram. You got it?
I have it.
Okay. Got a pencil?
I have a pen. Does it have to be a pencil?
Nope. Pen will do just fine.
Okay.
So
yeah, I have it.
Good, very good. So the wheel of life is going to give you a snapshot of how you see yourself right now and the level of satisfaction you have in your current situation. So what it's going to do is provide insight into whether or not your life is in balance. It's going to capture whether individual areas of your life are either meeting your needs or they're making you unhappy or leaving you dissatisfied or unhappy, or discontented. It's going to identify the areas that need support improvement to reach your individual or overall goals. And it's going to assist you with goal setting to get a targeted result. So here's what you're going to do. You have the blank paper. What I want you to do is, before we get started, I want you to cross out, put an X through number 5, number 6, and number 7.
What do you mean? Every number 5, put an X through it?
Yeah, yep. Cross out all your number 5s, your number 6s, and number 7s.
Okay. Okay.
All right. So now what I'd like you to do is to take a few minutes. Think about the 9 areas on the chart. And I want you to give yourself, I want you to circle or put a dot on top of the number you believe represents the level of satisfaction you have in that area of your life right now. Now, does that make sense?
But it can't be 5, 6, or 7.
You got it.
Okay. So
And
it's either going to be above that or below that. Okay.
And here's why.
And I'm gonna put a dot at the level that I think my life is at, or my level of satisfaction with it.
Well, so if things are aligned, that should be about the same.
Okay, but things aren't. So
so this is not what you want it to be. This is where are you, how satisfied are you right now in the realm of spirituality in your life? So if you look at the chart that I'm showing you right now, it says that I would be satisfied at a level 5, but we're not going to use 5, 6, or 7, right? So so in this case, if I'm not as high as an 8, I'm just going to put it down at a 4.
Am I satisfied with my spirituality? In other words, do I feel connected in a way that makes me feel that I'm happy with? I don't understand.
Yes, that's correct. In your spiritual life. And I'm not going to give you a definition of what that is, because however it lands with you, that's what it needs to be.
Right. Okay. So you want me to tell you, or just want me to put a dot?
I want you to put a dot. I want you to go around that whole diagram and put dots for each place.
Got credit card debt? When you transfer your debt to a card,
You done?
it's like
I'm done.
All right. Now, look at figure number 2 on the screen. What I'd like you to do is connect your dots.
Tragedies are commonplace. All kinds of diseases. People are slipping away.
Okay.
All right.
Economy's down.
All right. So I'm just curious. Did you get a perfectly round? Well, let me ask you this. What was are all your dots at the same level?
No.
No. Okay. So what was your highest dot? What area?
Spirituality.
Okay. So you're pretty satisfied with yourself in the spiritual way, how you're growing and where you're at right now.
Right.
Okay.
I've always felt connected.
Okay.
I've always known it. That's my highest. That's an 8.
Okay. And then the other things are, what's your next highest?
4.
All
That's
right.
personal growth and learning is a 4. And my environment is a 4.
Okay. And then the other things are?
For community is a 3. And fun and recreation is a 3. And that's really due to COVID.
Okay.
Money and finances is a 2.
Okay.
And family and friends is a 2. And partner and love is a 2.
Okay. So are you surprised by those things though? No.
That's why I'm trying to get myself together.
Okay. So now if you think about this, think about a wheel on your car. If that's a wheel on your car.
Yeah, I got nothing coming. I'm sitting tight. I'm going nowhere fast.
Right? So you're not going anywhere fast. So what do we have to do? We got to inflate those other areas so that you have more balance. Right?
Yeah.
It's right. Okay. So when you look at that shape, how does it feel? Does it feel like, oh my God? Or does it feel like, oh,
No, I knew it. That's why I'm in Virginia. I'm doing travel therapy as an attempt to try to balance my life, do some new things, take control of I knew it. It's just, I haven't figured out how to really get the ball rolling.
Well, you have. That's why you're here. You would have figured it out.
That's why I'm here. That's exactly why I'm here. Yeah.
Okay. So then again, you were ahead of the game and on your way down. I think what it is for you, you were on your way down the street. And like you said, you're at the point where like, okay, I recognize it. I know I need to do something. How do I do it? So that was if we go back to what we were talking about earlier, the ask that you had, at some point you said universally, I want, or I need more direction on how to do this. So here's a piece. You got a piece yesterday. put on that personality. Now let's look at the one of the areas you don't feel great about. Let's pick one of them. I'm sorry. What, the 2 or the 1 or the 4 or something? See, so let me stop you right there while you're thinking. Don't overthink it. You know you got a whole bunch of them low. Pick any of them that's lower than the.
Okay, let's go with money and finances.
Okay, so let's think about that personality, that new personality. And if we were to draw a little, let's draw a little line or get a piece of paper and let's do some brainstorming real quick.
Okay.
If the money and financing. So if you are Olivia Pope, what might be some things you would do to improve your money and financing? Now, it sounds like you may have already figured out a few of them.
Yeah, and COVID has helped.
Okay.
I've been saving like crazy and not going to the restaurant, not going to the movies, not doing much driving because I'm in this real podunk small country town. So my work is like 7 minutes away. So when I lived in Indiana, I put so many miles on my car because everywhere is far away, you know?
Okay.
And then the kind of work I was doing. But so the point is, because I'm not driving so much, I don't have to pay as much for gas. And because I'm in this town, gas is cheaper.
Okay. And so we're going to put that all under savings. Let's write down savings.
And that's why I was talking to Sandra, working on that, you know?
Okay. So saving. Now, saving is good, but it's still ether-like. So if you spend $5 less this week than you did the week before, you saved. Not a whole lot, but you saved. So what is the target that you would save? What would be the target number? So you got to put an end cap on that to feel a closure and some sense of achievement. So you can't just say, I'm just going to save. You want to say, look, in a month, my target is to save $400 a month more than I did, $400 a month may be it. So if you hit that mark and you do that consistently over the next 6-7 months, then you got something really to celebrate because you've got a SMART goal that directly impacts that part of your life. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
So you're saving. That's one of the things you could do. So I'm going to say to you, target an amount that you want to be saving that would make you happy, a realistic amount. So that's a piece of homework for you to do next to that saving. Okay.
Okay.
All right. What else might you be doing in the way of finance to improve it? So we said saving is one.
Okay. And then becoming a traveling speech therapist was part of it, because if you work more than 50 miles away from home, you get a stipend for housing and food that is not taxed. So while I may be making around the same amount that I was before, I get more of it to keep because it's not taxed.
Okay, so we're going to say career. So you changed you didn't change the type of job, you changed the geography of the job. So,
I'm functioning in a different way in my field. So instead of doing home health and early intervention house to house in Indiana, I'm doing travel therapy working at a school.
Okay.
Which means I'm not ripping and running all day. I go somewhere and I sit down, I'm there.
So let's say
I'm not putting all those miles on my car, running it down into the ground,
So let's call that new job. Let's just call it a new position or a new job. So there are two specific things, and the offshoot of both of those, well, actually that's gonna do two things probably. Not only, so now you got savings, regular savings, and you got your job. So again, those are two things that are tied to that area, although they're connected, that allow you to reach some level of satisfaction, or you can raise your vibration of satisfaction in that area. But if you raise your vibration of satisfaction and saving, let's say you said, I want to save 20,000 because maybe you're able to save all of the, I used to live off per diems too. That's what I was a traveler. I was a consultant. So when I'm traveling, and sometimes I still take projects. I took one last year for a couple of months, beginning of the year. You take a project, you make $40,000, $50,000 in 3-4 months. And somebody's paying for you to be on the road. So you really get to stack the whole 50,000 because you're not paying for your housing, you're not paying for your food. And like you said, you don't travel very far because the hospital across the street. So then my goal would be like, I'm going to save 45,000 of that 50 that I'm getting ready to make because I can live off of just that. Now we can pack that away. So what does that do to some other things? That might increase my environment. It might increase my fun and recreation. So it could be an impact on both of those. If I'm focused on saving money, then doesn't that have a kind of offshoot or kind of it impacts some other areas of my life sort of on the backside? Does that make sense?
It does.
And so what we want to do is we want to have you, just like you looked at the career, we want to have you go around this wheel and talk about, identify, what can I do? What specific action can I take in this area of my life that would increase my level of satisfaction? When you do that, then you can plot things. So I'll give you something that I did myself. I probably function at an 8, 9 in most of these, except for career. Well, actually 10s in a lot of them, except for career, because I went from making $15,000, $16,000 a month when I stopped working for my firm to now, if I get a client once or twice a month, that's not nowhere near the same realm. And so I said, well, this is the path I believe God wants me on. And so how do I do something about this? Well, I know I want to coach people. So what do I got to do? Okay, well, I need to create a course. So I created this 7-day free course so that people can understand what I can do and what I can bring and how I can help them. Because if you understand, if I share a little bit with you, then maybe you'll trust me to take you a little bit further. Now, I didn't just grab that out of the air. What I was doing all of the years that I've been a consultant, I have been coaching people, but I never charged anybody because I made 200 and some years as much as $500,000. So I was like, I can't charge you when you barely, figuring out what you're trying to do. If I got $500,000, I don't spend $500,000 a year. Why do I look like charging you for that? So I'll just give that to you. But then I heard something say, but this is what I want you to do. And I go, okay, wait a minute now, hold on. You want me to give up all this and go do this? Now I got to figure out a way so I need to figure out a way to meet the call. So I created the 7-day course and now I've been teaching it, right? And I'm still saying, well, I'm still getting a lot of clients. What do I have to do? If I can now teach my 7-day course and let people see what I've done for other people. I've got testimonials from people who are now CEOs of their own company who will tell you, I was making $10 when I met Lisa. I made $2 million this past year. I have one that made $4 million. And so he had no problem giving me a testimonial that's on my website and stuff. And so now I've got some proof I can put in there. And I teach a 7-day course. I create that. I put that out there. People start taking it. They see what I can do. So what am I doing? I am trying to raise awareness of my ability in my career area so it has a direct impact. It'll help me get the clients I want. And it should also help me with my financing. So you see how that all so that's kind of what we want to do here, but you have to have a place to start. And a lot of times we can discourage people like you said, I don't know what to do and where to start. Well, look at that wheel. Now you know where to start. Anything that's lower, and your highest was at 8, right?
Yeah, but that was the only thing that was above the 5, 6, and 7 was spirituality.
So we want everything, because if this is a wheel on your car, we want that to be as round as possible. So you could pick any of those areas, and then we have to identify things you can do. And then you focus and you work on that thing to raise your score in that particular area of your life. Then you come back and you score yourself, and now you got a little bit more of a round tire in that place. And then once you're satisfied, it's round there, then you move to the next component and you work on that one. And then you got that rounded out a little bit until you get the whole thing inflated. So now you have a nice smooth rotation about life. Does that all make sense?
It does.
Okay.
It's just a mountain to climb.
Well, that's why you got Olivia.
Right. Okay. Right.
So it's not a mountain to climb because you are a mountain climber. I am a mountain climber.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it because I want to do it. I really do. I'm gonna figure this out, and this is helpful to me. I'm determined. Like, I will go to great lengths, but I've been running so fast and getting nowhere and getting frustrated and discouraged. This is the boost that I need.
And so, and the frustration is because you don't know where to start. It's like you in high school or in college and stuff, you got to write a paper, a term paper or something. Where do you start?
Right.
You sit
And see,
there.
the money that I've made over the years, like, I wasn't making the kind of money that you talked about, no, but I made enough money that I shouldn't be worried about money now. But I had these dead weight husbands. I raised my kids basically by myself, and my baby just graduated from college. So now I'm trying to dig out of a hole and kind of establish my life, the life that I actually deserve and have worked for. Right. I'm starting from zero, but a lot of people do that and they overcome. So I figure I need to be one of those people.
Right. And here's the advantage that you have. You got a wheel in front of you right now that tells you where to start.
Yes. Yes, it does. It helps me see it clearly.
Yes. And that's the important part. Once you can't fix something you can't see. So I'm gonna go back to the Bible. It says, write the vision, make it plain. In other words, write out what you need to do. Put it in front of you so that you can identify where you have gaps in your life, or you can identify what it is you want. You can put that in the words of Abraham too. Abraham says all the time, write it down. Write it down. Writing makes clarity. Again, let's go back to your paper. When you were writing a term paper in high school, you started out writing the paragraph. First of all, you know where to start. That's called writer's block. It's the same as not knowing where to start fixing your life. So now we've solved your writer's block. You know now what to start fixing because you can see the numbers, right? But then then the first thing you do is you go, okay, so I'm gonna write the first paragraph about this. And you start writing that paragraph, and then you get to the end of it, and you go back and read it, and you do what to it?
You edit it.
Right. So now you go back and you edit, and you keep working it until you're satisfied with how that paragraph sounds and feels. Then you write paragraph number 2, and you go back and you do the same process and you edit it. But at some point, you start to look at paragraph number 1 and 2 to make sure that the transition between the two, because you like them both independently. Now, does the transition between the two work?
Yes.
Yes. That's what you're going to do here.
Okay. I see it.
You see it?
I see it. And I also think about it, you know how they say when you're paying off your debt, or if you have credit cards, pay off the lowest balance first so that you start to see some success. I'm going to choose things that I think are easier for me to try to get them up to an 8 first. Like, I'll be working on all of it somewhat simultaneously. Like, you still pay on all your bills, but you put the heaviest amount toward the lowest balance so you can wipe it out faster. I'm going to use that kind of an approach, I think, with this. And I'm going to try to like pick out like which ones I want to focus on. I already been trying with the health and fitness. I've been going to Stretch Lab, and man, it's helping with, like, sometimes I have joint pain. It's helping a lot. And then at my school, the IT lady offers a class every Friday for the teachers and staff something related to computer, Google, whatever. I don't know all this stuff. So I just show up, whatever she's teaching, I'm taking it. And I'm like, this is what I needed. Like I was talking, I think everything I'm going to need to get my business going, I'm getting little pieces of it. You know what I mean? Like the foundation is being built. I can feel that happening and I feel excited about it. And so this is another piece of that. This right here really helps me because I'm a visual person.
So that's personal growth. And you'll be able to put this on the wall. So mine are hanging on my bedroom door. Rashida's are hanging on the wall. Well, our door is covered with all kinds of stuff because every time we do charts and personalities and stuff, they're hanging in the bathroom, they're hanging in the hallway, hanging on the bedroom doors, they're hanging everywhere. Yeah, and so, and what you just talked about is all in the spiritual, I mean, not spiritual, but the personal growth and learning area.
Oh, and I see that. Okay.
Right. And as you learn more in your personal growth and learning area, as you learn more there, that's going to impact your career.
Yes, it will.
Well,
for the career, look, where I'm going with the career is if I can get my books and my speech therapy products off the ground and have some type of residual income, that's what I'm trying to do because I'm tired of working like this. And then my personal clients, like I work for a virtual school as well, and I have a couple of personal clients. I wouldn't have as many, my caseload wouldn't be as big. It's too many, but I have to meet my financial needs. I want to get to a point where I can pick and choose, maybe have 5, 6 clients that I could really give, really put a lot into them, but not be overworked. I know where I'm trying to go with my career, just trying to make it there, just trying to figure out how to get there is the thing. And that's what I'm saying. I think the foundational stuff is happening so that I can do it. I feel more inspired right now than I felt in a long time.
Very good. That's what we want. And to help you with even some of that, so I'm going to say 2 things because I've heard you allude to a couple of things. I think you said you're going to meet with Sandra about some stuff. There are a couple of people in our group. The reason that group is there, and I'm going to ask folks to post their businesses. There's some folks in there who do, I don't know what your credit's like, but they fix credit and help you find all kinds of funding for small businesses, some grant stuff you may be looking for. You may want to do your business and then have a 501c3 because there's grant money readily available for what you do in certain areas of the world. I don't know, but we have that expertise in that group.
Yeah, I need somebody to tell me about that stuff because I don't know about that stuff. That'll work. My credit is okay. I've worked on that. That's okay. But I don't know anything about how to find grants, how to write for grants, how to get them. I don't know any of that kind of stuff. So those are the kind of people I need to talk to for sure.
Which is why we got the group. Everybody in the group has something to give and something to bring, or is in business already. Or they come from all kinds of walks. And Rashida she put together a web page last night for herself and launched her, I don't know if you saw that charcuterie thing. And I was just like, what are you doing? And she was like, sit right here. I need you to feed me certain information. She was just plucking, and she's never done a web page. I always have to do it.
I don't know how to do that either.
But I'm sure if you asked her, she'd be more than happy to do something like that for you or with you or show you how. And I mean, so again, there's all kinds of expertise in the group that you can leverage. But you've got to make known what you need and want. Now, you've already started doing that in a spiritual way, but you also have to know that in a spiritual way, things cannot manifest without the help of other beings. So, as I was saying to, I think it was Eric the other day, God is not going to come down here and materialize so you can touch the hem of his garment. That ain't how it's going to work. He's going to send somebody. But you have to, when that person is passing by, they don't necessarily know that you need, they know they're looking for somebody, but they don't know it's you because you got to say something. You got to say, hey, I need that. And so the group is the safe place to say, hey, do y'all know how to do this? Hey, this is what I'm looking for. This is what I need. Anybody got any expertise in this?
Okay.
And, that's a safe spot. That's why we're building the tribe. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
And so you get you get the exercise. What I want you to do, like I said, don't overwhelm yourself. I'm available to help you. The group is available to help you. But what you're gonna do, we talked about what you discovered about your overall life balance, that it's kind of out of balance. If that was a tire on your car, you'd be stranded.
Yeah, it's sad.
And so let's inflate it. So we're gonna, here's your assignment. You're gonna pick one area. And again, it doesn't matter where you start. You've got a place to start. You've got to outline, if you will. You don't have to figure out, you don't have to have writer's block. And just brainstorm. I could do this in this area. I could do this in this area. I could do that in this area. I could do this in this area. You talked about family and friends. And
I don't know what to do with that.
Well, let's look at that for 1 second. So the lack of family friends, it has to do with COVID.
No,
Okay.
no, it has to do with people showing out and just, I can't. It's just the negativity, it's the attacks, it's the coming at you, it's the trying to control you, it's the people who betray you, you know, life. And unfortunately for me, I'm surrounded by a lot of people that just, we're not a match.
Okay, so you already know what to do about that. And so what do you do?
I'm really looking to meet people who are matches.
Okay.
When I meet them, I embrace them.
So
you
what,
know?
define meet for me.
I don't know. Okay, so here's something that I have done. So I have a boyfriend. He lives in Chicago.
Mhm.
And I met him online. And I met him online because at the time I was divorced with little kids, working all day, and I just couldn't go out and meet people. So online was perfect. So I allowed myself to do this new thing, and it worked out for me. And I met him, and he's a nice man. He's a really nice man. But I'm bored. I'm an adventurous spirit. He is not. So
Okay.
I let myself meet somebody, and that's cool. But I have bigger needs than what he's meeting, right?
Okay.
So I need to meet somebody who's willing to go and do and see and experience. And, you know, so I don't know how, you know, like, I just haven't figured out how that's going to happen.
What do
If
you
I go online right now, I have to be careful because I'm not trying to hurt the guy that I'm with. Like, I'm with him, but I know I need more. And I've already done the sacrifice. And in the 2 marriages that I've had, I'm not doing that anymore. I'm going to make sure that I see about Kenitra, without the intent of trying to hurt him. I'm not trying, I have no intentions of hurting him at all.
So is it fair to say one of the things you could do is talk with him about the needs?
No, I got nothing coming. You know, a leopard doesn't change its spots. And when you're over 50, you are who you are.
So, hold on. So what you're saying is that you have made the effort and spoken to him about the needs.
Yes.
Okay. And that's all you can do. You can only control your own behavior. You can't control his. So he knows that this is a need. And so your only decision left is to, if it's still a need.
That's the way I'm going to.
Yeah, you need to move on and get your need met.
I'm not moving on. I'm adding to my tribe.
And so when you say to me, I'm afraid to post in the group.
That's not why.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter why. It's you have a need, and if for all you know, it could get met right in there.
You're right. It could be. It could. Because I'm looking for somebody who doesn't mind traveling and trying new things. Like, I like things off the beaten path. I will go to a tulip festival. I'll go to a hand clapping contest. Like, what? Let's see what's happening. So I like the rodeo. So I go whale watching, you know, but to find somebody who would do that. And I had a friend. And well, wait.
Hold on. So if I go to your Facebook page right now, will I have a sense that you like whale watching or any of the things you just named?
Mm-mm. You won't have a sense of anything.
Okay.
I don't put anything on social media like that.
Okay, so hold on. If I go there, are you a part of any groups with people in it who like whale watching or any of those things, or hand clapping contest, or whatever? I mean,
no.
right? So if you go on Facebook or social media, now remember, it's social media. When you go on social media,
I just don't trust that, because I know that, like my father used to say, the more people know about you, the less people know about you, the better off you are. And I know that companies use your social media to track you and figure out who you are and what, and I just don't, that's one reason I'm so private, is because I just don't need the drama and hassle that can come with people knowing too much about your life.
okay.
Like I work here with these people. They don't know I have a side hustle. If they
Well, you can block them, right? You can block them. But hold on.
Okay, I don't know how to do that. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, so then
when I posted, I was like, now Zuri, I only want this going in the group. Now, are we sure this is not showing up on my timeline?
So then you need to learn how to take safeguards against certain things without cutting yourself off from the rest of the world.
I'm listening.
That's personal growth. So that you can have what you want, but within the structure that you needed to feel safe. If you're in a group, so for example, there are people who they live for Disney cruises and stuff like that. They're Disney cruise groups. That's all they talk about. We belong to a couple of groups, and one is about Black women who have guns. That's all we talk about in the group. We talk about nothing else. What kind of gun you got? Where can you get good ammunition? Where do you take target practice? And you meet around that topic. And so those things are good. That's how you're going to meet people who are aligned with what you like. You have to get in spaces where those people hang out. Will you meet some bad people in there? Yeah, of course you will. But if you go to a bar, forget COVID. If you're out at a bar or a club or with your friend, you with Steph, you with Sandra, with any of your friends, whether you're at Trinity or Christ Baptist or any of these people, you're going to still meet people, and you're still going to be 50-50. That's going to either be a good person or a bad person. You don't increase or decrease your odds no matter where you meet them.
I agree with that. I honestly do agree with that. But I agree with that.
Okay, so you've got to get out of your head about it and stop putting limits on the how. You're trying to figure out how. You're just supposed to be open to the journey. Okay.
And that's part of the new concept that I've just learned a couple of months ago. Stop trying so hard.
And it's part of what would it, okay, so what would Olivia Pope do if she needed a date and she went on Facebook or whatever else and did? First of all, she's going to be unapologetically herself. This is what I'm interested in. You don't like it on my damn page.
So one of the things that I'm doing during COVID is trying to just improve myself overall. And that also includes my physical health.
Okay.
I'm planning to, when COVID kind of subsides and I feel comfortable going out and mixing again, that I'll be renewed. I'll be a better person. I'll be more fit. I'll have figured and probably have a new hairstyle. Won't be so achy with my joints. Will be more limber and
well,
hold on.
Hold on one second. See, I gotta get you out of this. You said I will be. Let me ask you this. You told me a little while ago you were already doing some stretching and all of that stuff.
Yeah, I love it.
And so are you will be, or are you already feeling better?
I'm already feeling better.
Okay, so stop saying what you will.
Better.
So stop saying what you will be, because you're already there. I'm already feeling better. I am already better. Take out the already. I'm better. You're better today than you were. So you keep pushing it off by saying, I will be this, when you actually are in process of that. You're there. You feel better today. And tomorrow, if you keep going and stretching, you'll feel better tomorrow. And so that will always be a repetitive, continuous process process as opposed to you making it down the road futuristic. You keep taking what's currently and pushing the house down the street.
Oh yeah, I see it. I just got to stop doing it
You got
because
to
I
stop
want
doing
to
it.
lose.
Takes
I
practice.
want to lose weight so that I can. I wasn't always heavy, and I want to lose weight so that I can wear some of the clothes that I really want to wear, some of the
Okay.
styles that I really want to
So,
wear.
so,
you know?
so here's the thing. Go get one of them pieces that you can't wear right now, but that you want to wear. Go spend money, buy it, and hang it up somewhere you can see it every day. It's going to change things.
Okay.
Because if you're looking at that, you're programming your mind to what you want to do. If you're focusing on that, that's what you're going to do. You're going to do it without even thinking about it.
I want to get to a place where I can sit in the middle seat on the airplane and not be bothered, not feel crunched, just be like, I'm taking my seat, you know?
And so you, I don't know if you knew this about me, because when I met you at Trinity, I think I was probably already the size I am now, or pretty slim. I was 306 pounds. You didn't know, 308 pounds. Right. So you never knew that, Lisa. So yeah, I could not only not get in the middle seat, but I didn't want to really sit next to nobody. Nobody wanted to sit next to me. Now I'm the first one to pop in the middle seat. And people say, do you mind sitting here? I don't mind at all.
Okay, that's what I'm trying to do, Lisa. I'm trying to be there. It's the little things that matter. Like I want to just get in a go-kart real easily and keep it moving. And what I'm working on in Stretch Lab is being able to sit crisscross applesauce real deep, like the monks, you know, when they wrap their foot. Oh, I want to be able to do all that. I'm working toward all of that.
Okay. So let's get back in here. So here's what you want to do. I want you to pick an area. I want you, just like we're identifying things, start identifying. And again, don't try to eat the whole cake at one time. Don't try to inflate the whole wheel at one time. Pick one area, work on it, get it to an area, get that paragraph figured out the way you want it, then move to the next area, do the same thing, and then sort of sequentially move around the wheel based on how you feel. Work on whichever area, but focus on improving that one area one at a time. Make sense?
Okay.
All right.
So just work on one area at a time?
I mean, yeah, until you're happy with it.
Okay.
I mean, you will by nature be working on the other ones, right? But the focus. So it's kind of like, again, you're in college or high school, you got a workload, you got 7 classes or 5 classes. Some of them you give more effort than the other classes, depending on what comes easy to you or not, right? So get your low-hanging fruit by all means, take your wins where you can get them. But some stuff is just going to take harder. You're going to be more creative about it. All right. So I won't even ask you about a Q&A because that's kind of what we've been sort of, since it's been just you, we've been having the whole conversation the whole time. Yeah. And it's good. It's good. It's all good. We still on time. And so this is what you were going to be doing. You can see, and I really want you to, as you pick these exercises, get out of Kanidra's head and get into Olivia's head. This is what I would do in this personality. I would, if that means that I will, I would challenge you to put on your Facebook page, if people know that you like, what do you call it? You said, I said hand clapping, but I'm not.
I was being facetious about the hand clapping, but I went to the Tulip Festival, I like whale watching.
Okay, so
I want to go to Alaska. I love Canada. What's like to travel?
Okay, so what's wrong with people knowing that you like flower festivals? We go to the Lilac Festival every year in Rochester. What's wrong with that?
I never even heard of that. What is a Lilac Festival? What do they do? Because that sounds interesting.
Lilac. The lilac.
Oh, the lilacs. Oh, okay. Well, I went to the Tulip Festival because I love tulips. And when I discovered that right there in Holland, Michigan, they have a festival, I was like, what?
So what's wrong?
Every color you can think of.
What's wrong with putting up a social media post that says, I'm excited about the Tulip Festival coming up on this date, blah, 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 blah. Here's what'll happen when you put that up. A lot of people who comment on it, one of them is going to say, hey, when is that? If you like the person, go. Keep it about the tulips. If you don't, go by yourself and you're gonna meet, guess who? People who like tulips. Have a conversation. You might meet Mr. Savoir-faire right there at the Tulip Festival.
I want to meet an international investment banker. I've been saying that for 20 years.
Okay, but what do international investment bankers talk about?
Money.
Is that what you're talking about on your social media page? No, because you're being private. So how do they know that that's your interest when they don't know your name or nor are you talking about anything? You can control that. And rather than control it and be intentional and create what you want, you are hiding in the closet. You're locked away, but you want a different outcome. So you're gonna have to get uncomfortable, put on as a personality, put on this bold, big personality you picked, and do something that makes Kenidra uncomfortable.
I hear you. And I really like the way you said, I'm excited about the Tulip Festival, because that's not saying too much.
Correct.
It's just enough. You know,
it is.
I'm glad you said that. I like that.
That's
I hear
all
what you're saying. I
it's the
hear you loud and
small things.
clear. And I'm trying to process just stepping into it. I'm really not resisting what you're saying. I appreciate it. I hear it. And I know it's what I need to do. And you're helping me figure out how to do it.
That's my job.
Yeah.
My job is to get you out of your way.
I'm ready to get out of my way. I'm ready to do that.
Okay, and you said you were going to be coachable.
I am coachable.
So then you get a special assignment of putting in
God.
the group. And I'm gonna make it even safer for you. In the group, hey, does anybody like the Tulip Festival? Is there anybody in this group that's in whatever part of the world that's in? So here's what I want you to do. I want you to pick out 2 things that you like to do, that you have had an issue finding somebody to do it with. Like you said, you have an interest in this, whether it's motorcycles, guns, tulips, whatever it is. I want you to pick out 2 things.
Okay.
And I want you to post inside of our group. Hey, I'm going to this festival or whatever. Anybody else interested?
Wow, that's scary.
So what happens if they're not interested?
Nothing.
Nothing. What's so scary about it?
It just feels scary.
That's your assignment. You're gonna be coaching.
Well, because I don't really like people. Can I just put it out there? I don't like people.
Well, if you don't like people, how you gonna find the international banking investment? I mean, you got not only you gotta like people.
That's problematic. I know. I get that. I see how that is conflict. But so the thing is this, I might do that. Okay, what you just said makes sense.
No, you not might. That you said you're gonna be coachable, you're gonna do it.
Right, but hear what I'm saying to you. I could see myself doing what you just said in normal times. But when it comes to COVID, I am really keeping it conservative. I'm really not going out there. So a lot of things I want to do and would normally do, I'm not doing it right now. So I can't really say I'm going to do anything, because I'm not doing anything but sitting in this box, watching TV and going to work while I ride COVID out. I'm just being honest. It's COVID. It's not really me.
So you can't say that you're going to the festival, but you can post something about the upcoming festival.
I could do
and
that.
when it is and where it is, because
I love the rodeo. That's what I love. The
rodeo in Houston?
Well, anywhere. I went to the Black Rodeo in Texas. In my hometown, Lake Wales, Florida, there's River Ranch Resort, and they have a rodeo every Saturday night. And when I go home to visit my mom, I drag her to the rodeo.
So do you post anything about the rodeo?
Yeah, I like the rodeo. I will go to a rodeo. And you know what else I want to see? I've never gone, but I want to see the monster trucks.
So again, I'm challenging you. I need to have 2 posts, 2 posts this week. Aside from what you got to do, you need to post 2 things about stuff like that you like. In the group, we're going to start with in the group. But you really should post them on your page. And you don't have to say anything else about them. Just post them on your page.
I want to learn how to trade stocks. I want to understand the stock market.
Okay. You got a whole lot of list of things you want to do.
I know, I do. And I'm on Robinhood, but I don't even really know what I'm doing. Like, it's crazy. I'm just mumbling around. I would like to know what I'm doing. You know?
So that's, again, personal development and stuff like that, and finances. I get it. So for this group, here's what you're going to do. You got your personal assignment.
Find 2 things that I would like to do and post something about it in the group.
Yep.
How long do I have to do this? You're gonna give me a little time to get it together? Please,
I'm gonna
don't
give you
say
till
in
before
2
we
days.
meet. You
Come
got
on.
This is in 7. This is a 7-day course. You do day. Hey, girl, come on. You got to work. You got to work. Now,
When do we meet? We meet on Saturday. When do we meet? When's the next meeting?
We don't meet tomorrow. We meet Saturday. So you got your 3 o'clock on Saturday. Because at 3 o'clock, if you ain't did your work, I throw you out.
That's fair.
Okay.
It's just,
All right.
feel the pressure. It's
You-
stressing me out. Hey, can we just do 1? Can we compromise? There's no compromise. I gotta do 2.
I'll give you 1 if you put it on both your personal page and in the group. It's the
Okay,
same ad.
wait a minute. Let me make sure I'm clear. My
It's the same
choices
ad.
are, wait a minute. My choices are post 1 thing if I do it on both, or post 2 things in the group.
Yes.
I'm going for the group.
Okay.
I'm not ready to post on my page yet. That's baby steps. That's too big of a step for me right
Okay.
now.
That's fine.
2 things in the group. Okay, so is there another assignment or just that one?
Yeah, we're gonna look at this. Okay, so here we go. We're back to our regular course of action here. See, this is what you get being the only person in class tonight. Everybody else gotta watch the video.
Okay.
Okay, so here's the funny thing that I don't know that you've recognized this yet, but the videos that you guys watch are from your own classes. So everybody, you've been a one-on-one, they're going to see your video so that they can do their work tonight.
That makes me feel very self-conscious.
It's okay, but they're going to learn from your conversation. See, so you're ushering in some stuff here. And the only reason that the people who weren't here yesterday didn't get to use the video from the other night, and I wish I had recorded the one with you and Eric and Rashida on it, is because somehow I forgot to hit the record button. Okay, so they got the benefit of watching the last classes, 3rd class video, 2nd class video. Oh, I'm sorry, 1st class video. So here we go. In the group, per usual, you got to list your takeaways. And I actually kind of just helped you with this one. You're going to post 1 action you will take in the next 48 hours that will improve an area of your life. Ain't got to fix it. You're just going to say, in the area of this, in this area of my life, let me see, environment, I'm going to do this. Some people might interpret environment as like their living arrangement. And so they might paint a wall that makes them feel better, makes them happy. They may buy a new plant. Whatever it is.
1 action you will take in the next 48 hours to improve your environment?
No, I was just giving you if environment was the area I picked. So you can pick any
improve. Okay.
One of the areas. So you're going to tell us which area it is and tell us what 1 action you're going to do that you can do it in 48 hours. You got this. Don't scare yourself. Okay, Livia, come on, Livia. Come on. Don't scare yourself into oblivion. You got this. You only got to look at this chart. Say, I'm going to work on this, and I'm going to take 1 step. I'm going to do this 1 thing in that area. And you got to post what that is. Okay? Now, this wheel is yours. Like I said, put it on your wall. I'd like to see you, because I don't know if you continue coaching with me after the 7 days or not, but you have that wheel as an exercise. Every 3 to 6 months, grab a fresh wheel, mark it up, and see if you've had any growth. Is it a little more round? Are you feeling a little bit better about it if you had to do it all over again? And you want to keep doing that every 3 to 6 months to see what's changing. And so you have a blueprint in front of you that's intentional. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Okay. All right. It says, so I'm going to just repeat this part. Individually repeat the exercise every 3 to 6 months. This will help you readily identify negative behaviors or patterns that are blocking your progress. Each action should add to the overall goal of improving your life balance. When the action is over a more extended period of time, a relatively large and complex problem or action, define a goal, ideally one that is specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. So for example, if you said the financing, let's go back to the goal we had about your financing. You said I'll save. Well, saving is a goal, and that's great, but you didn't give me anything that was specific or measurable or time relevant. So if you said, I'm going to save $100 a month for the next 12 months, if you have at the end of 12 months, $1,200, then we know you were specific, it was measurable, and we had a time frame in which you achieved that. Does that make sense?
Yes.
The way you have it right now is too loosey-goosey. $5 is you achieved it, but you don't feel no better if you save $5, unless it's a sale at the dollar store.
Right, but I can see a big difference in the money that I've saved from March to now, because
Great.
COVID really shut it down.
Great.
You know, and I saw it as an opportunity.
But absolutely, and I think most people did. But what I'm trying to push you beyond that, than to just let it be kind of fluffy. Put a number on it, so you know for sure. I was chasing this target, and I wanted to achieve it in X amount of time.
Okay.
All right.
Sandra is helping me with the financial planning. Okay. And she kind of set a target like that, a goal like that with me. So okay. I'm hearing some things more than once from different places. So it must be a message that I'm meant to get.
Yeah, if you have goals with no times, then how are they goals?
Right.
How do you know if you ever achieved it?
Right.
All right, I'm going to stop sharing this, and I'm going to stop the recording.